What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bull Combo. I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's been another week in the Metaverse, and that means we have another week's worth of Metaverse news to get through. But before we get started, as always, if you like this content, make sure to smash that like button. And if you like the videos that you see on this channel, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell to get notified when I post new videos. As always, if you want to fast forward to a specific topic or a specific section in this week's weekly update, you can do that using the timestamps down below in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this week's update. We're going to kick things off with Roblox this week. Nike has entered the Roblox Metaverse with their announcement of Nikeland. The digital space allows players to outfit their avatar with special Nike products and is free for everyone to visit that's a Roblox user. Visitors can currently play Tag, The Floor is Lava, and Dodgeball on the platform, which also lets users create and design their own mini-games from interactive sports materials. Nikeland visitors can use the accelerometers on their mobile devices to transfer offline movement to online play, allowing real-life movement in the digital space. This is just the latest entry in a series of Roblox experiences that include NASCAR, Paris Hilton, and Stranger Things, among many others. Very cool stuff here from Nike, yet another large brand making their Metaverse presence known. We see this every week, a brand new company announcing their Metaverse presence. The metaverses that they choose to announce their presence in kind of vary depending upon what the brand's looking to do. Sometimes it's an existing metaverse like Roblox or the Sandbox or Decentraland, and sometimes it's creating a proprietary metaverse style experience. Nevertheless, really interesting to see Nike taking this route. Nike is one of the leaders in sports clothing, sports apparel, sports accessories, and shoes, so to see them making this step into the metaverse is very huge for e-commerce in the metaverse, and I think it's very promising for some of the things we can see coming from the metaverse in the future, specifically related to avatars, clothing, accessories. The Sandbox. Aside from the meteoric rise of sand, this week there were a few things of note occurring. First off, the Walking Dead Game Jam is currently still ongoing, and that ends on November 21st. So if you're in the midst of doing that, just know you have a couple days left to enter the Game Jam entry. If you haven't started one yet, good luck getting one done in 2 days. I'm sure crazier things have been done, but we're getting near the end of this Game Jam duration, so make sure to get those entries submitted, and I'm pretty excited to see all the Game Jam entries that are submitted, especially utilizing the Walking Dead assets. I think we could see some pretty cool experiences. Along with that, this week marked a very major announcement for the Sandbox. As had previously been mentioned, we were expecting to hear some more information about the Sandbox Alpha Pass experience on November 16th, and as was initially reported here, we did in fact get that announcement. The Sandbox Alpha is scheduled for launch on November 29th at 1 p.m. UTC, and it will run for 3 weeks until December 20th. The Alpha Hub and 3 multiplayer experiences, the NFT Institute, Dungeon of DumbYZ, and Club XYZ, will be open to everyone. Additionally, there will be 5,000 Alpha Passes created. The first 1,000 passes will be raffled to landowners, and the 4,000 remaining Alpha Passes can be won by participating in a set of activities every day. These Alpha Passes will be NFTs that give users, and the owners specifically, access to 15 additional experiences, as well as the possibility to earn exclusive Alpha NFTs and up to 1,000 sand. If any of you have been following the value of sand recently, you'll know that 1,000 sand is quite a bit of money just for playing a game and completing some of the objectives and quests within it. So if you end up winning one of these Alpha Passes, this could be a very awesome opportunity to not only get some exposure to the metaverse, but also make some pretty cool profit at the same time. So it sounds like we only have a few short days until the metaverse officially opens its doors, at least from the Sandbox's perspective, and at least for a few weeks. I'm really excited to get in here, regardless whether I get an Alpha Pass or not. I'm really excited to get in there and just check out some of these experiences, see what there is to explore and learn. I'm really excited to post my social hub eventually once the opportunity is available for me. And I just can't wait to get some inspiration from some of these experiences during the Alpha Pass. So I'm excited to jump in there, and I hope to see you guys in there as well. Meta made waves recently when they changed their name from Facebook and announced their intentions to focus on the metaverse full-time. The announcement has been met with mixed reception, and while the verdict is still out on exactly how Meta will handle this, it hasn't stopped them from showing off some of their new technology and some of the things that they're working on in the metaverse space. And one of the new items they showed off specifically was haptic gloves. Meta's prototype is designed to work with the virtual reality systems of the future. It uses principles from soft robotics and employs pneumatic and electroactive actuators to quickly inflate tiny air pockets on the fingers and palm of the glove. These actuators are essentially tiny motors that can create the sensation of pressure and hence the feeling of touch. There are countless applications for this technology, as one can imagine, but it sounds like we won't be seeing this on the consumer market for a while. Nevertheless, the fact that these are already in development and are already functioning bodes well for the future of AR tech and AR tech accessories. And these are specifically a very cool concept. The ability to touch an object that's in AR is going to be huge. It's one thing to see an object floating or existing there in an augmented reality world. It's another thing to have that same level of touch or feel that you would get from a physical object. And I think once we can establish that or accomplish that from an AR perspective, we're really going to start blurring the line between what we consider a physical item and what we consider a digital item and the way we interact with those things. So very cool developments from Meta. Like I mentioned, the verdict's still out on exactly how they're going to handle their specific view or their specific tackling of the metaverse, and I think a lot of people are a little hesitant to support it right now because of their prior dealings with the Facebook social media platform and just some of the things regarding privacy and user data and things like that. And while definitely understand those concerns, I think it's still very exciting to see this level of technology being developed, and I have a feeling we're going to see this technology developed by other companies, not just Meta. So there will be a level of competition there, and obviously competition's good for the consumer. So all around exciting things from a metaverse technology perspective. Metaverse Banking. Yesterday, the Industrial Bank of Korea, otherwise known as IBK, announced its Memorandum of Understanding with Cyworld Z. Cyworld Z is a renewed version of Cyworld, which was one of the first and most popular social media platforms in South Korea in the 2000s. And it's set to launch again in a renewed form in December. IBK is aiming to set up an IBK bank on the metaverse, which will launch financial products streamlined for Cyworld Z users. One such product is a banknote for Dotori, which will reward users according to the amount of Dotori they purchase. Additionally, NH Bank targets March next year to launch the NH Dokdo Verse, which is a metaverse replica of Dokdo Island. It plans to bring clients closer to the island, which is difficult to travel to in real life. Visitors of the Dokdoverse will be able to play games such as fishing and buy properties on the island. NH Bank has been actively promoting Dokdo Island, a territory under South Korean control, which is challenged by Japan, for many years. Additionally, KB Bank is also looking into opening a virtual branch office in the metaverse. It tested earlier this year the possibility of a metaverse as a main channel for its financial services, but it's gone on to say that it's going to experiment with the online gaming platform Roblox to start before moving into other areas. Obviously, this is a very big deal for metaverses and DeFi in general. Seeing banking transition to a metaverse-style presence is kind of blurring the line between what a metaverse is, what banking is, and what we expect from a traditional banking experience. And while banks have a long way to go before they kind of catch up to the decentralized fashion of a lot of these metaverses, I definitely see them having a spot here in this metaverse future. And it's very interesting to see them being very proactive in creating a metaverse presence from the get-go here. Probably going to see a lot more banks do this, a lot more financial institutions try to capitalize on the metaverse experience. How that will look, I think a lot of us really don't know that quite yet. Nevertheless, it's very interesting to see banking and banking institutions getting in on the metaverse prospect and getting in on metaverse presences early on. VeVe. It was a bit of a quieter week with VeVe after the momentous week that occurred last week with the Disney collectibles drop. There was a few things that still occurred this week, including some important announcements. They kicked the week off with the announcement of the Spider-Man number 14 and Hitmonkey number 1 comics, and finished the week off with the Fantastic Four number 5 comic drop. But probably the biggest piece of information that was released just today was regarding their additional information on the revamped Master Collector program. I'm not going to break down all of the news here because, quite frankly, the announcement is very robust and very in-depth. So if it's something you're interested in, I definitely recommend visiting their Twitter or their Medium page where they shared the full announcement details. But it basically goes in depth on the point system, the ranks system, rewards that you'll get for VeVe app engagement, and everything in between. Since all VeVe users are being registered in the Master Collectors program, it's probably worth your time to go ahead and take a look at this and see how you can earn points, what the value of those points are, and in turn what you can be rewarded for having a higher ranking in the VeVe application. So very cool stuff coming here from VeVe. I know that the initial Master Collector program was met with a little bit of mixed reception. Hopefully this garners more positive reception. I think we'll just have to wait and see exactly how the community receives it. It was only announced a few hours ago, so this is very early news. Nevertheless, it's encouraging to see them already working on it, taking that user feedback and coming out with a version 2 so quickly. So we're going to have to check this out, see how it works, see how it aligns with the VeVe app in the community, and see if it ends up being successful in the long term. Themepark augmented reality tech. AR has been the focus of many tech demos and future promises, but one aspect that's been overlooked is the theme park applications, as well as the already existing advances on that front. Universal Studios Hollywood is in the midst of building their Mario Kart attraction at Super Nintendo World. While the ride itself hasn't been completed yet, we've already been given a sneak peek of this technology via the Universal Studios Tokyo attraction of the same name and design. The Mario Kart ride incorporates physical sets, animated objects, moving ride vehicles, and augmented reality headsets to create a unique Mario Kart experience that allows guests to interact with the characters and experience the world of Mario Kart like never before. On a similar front, some information recently leaked out about Disney and their future approach to AR. And while this information is very early and none of this has been confirmed as being rolled out to the consumer level yet, a first-person account of some Disney tech demos was given recently that showed off an AR overlay within the Toontown area of the park. This AR overlay was complete with cartoon explosions that were intermingled with real-world smoke. It also included a glimpse of Buzz Lightyear soaring around and through the buildings of Disney California, as well as Minnie Mouse greeting guests and even wishing someone specifically a happy birthday. All from an AR perspective. None of these objects were physical, they only existed in AR. Now, obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now for this type of technology to be incorporated with our current limitations on AR. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for people to be holding their phones up, walking around the park, trying to see all of these augmented reality experiences. But it sounds like Disney specifically is positioning themselves for a period of time in which we are utilizing some other form of augmented reality access. And it definitely seems like they're leaning on augmented reality glasses being something that are very commonplace in the future. And once these are commonplace, it makes a lot more sense for theme parks to host and have a lot of placed augmented reality experiences. So I don't think this is out of the norm at all. I think it makes a lot of sense for theme parks like Universal and Disney to be looking at this stuff early on. I mean, we've already seen some glimpses of AR technology in some of the existing theme park attractions. They've been using 3D projection screens and 3D technology as far back as 20 years ago when some of these parks launched their premier attractions based on that technology. So this isn't new, but I think augmented reality is that next step in the immersive theme park entertainment experience. So very encouraging to hear these companies working on this stuff. And I imagine not only are we going to see cool experiences in their theme parks, but eventually we're probably going to have some pretty cool experiences we can check out at home as well. And I can't wait to check those out specifically. So cool stuff all around on the AR front. Very cool stuff coming out of Universal and Disney. Can't wait to see what other theme park companies take the same approach. And can't wait to see what other type of theme park technology comes out like this in the near future. All right, and that was the last update for this week, guys. Always something awesome going on in the metaverse, even when it seems like there's nothing happening. I sit down and do some research for a couple hours, and I find all sorts of awesome things that are being talked about, and all sorts of new announcements that are being made every week. So if you guys like this content, as always, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all of the latest weekly metaverse announcements, VR announcements, virtual land announcements, NFT announcements, all sorts of things like that, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel here. I bring you guys these weekly update videos, and I try to include as much useful information as possible. So again, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel here, guys, and make sure to hit that bell to get notified when I post that new content. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you all for the positive support. I want to thank you for checking out this video. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday, an excellent weekend, and until next time, we'll see you soon.